Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce. I am Ardelia Khansa Lathifa from 2A Management. In this video, I would like to retelling about a scientific journal entitled The Process of Creative Economy Development as an Institutional Work. In scientific journal, we have some section. At first, abstract, introduction, review to the literature, method of the research, and then result of the research, and discussion, conclusion, and the last is recommendation. So at first, I would like to detail the abstract from the process of creative economic development as a institutional work. Abstract in the scientific journal, we have 4 points to make it abstract, right? So at first one is purpose. First point is purpose. Purpose from the scientific journal to investigate the process of creative economy development in Indonesia as an emerging market. This research is investigates and the development institutional environment conferred by the creative economy actor and how they face this environment in Bandung City. So, second point in abstract, this is method. The method used by this research is multiply case studies that mainly collect data by conducting in-depth interviews from the quarterly helix entities. Next is result of the research. Result of the research is found at the bottom of the approach was organically common in the creative economy development process in the Bandung. So the last point for the abstract is conclusion. This conduct was based on the cultural, connective, institutional pillar and show a community as an institutional entrepreneur that spanned in institutional entrepreneurship studies which focus on the creative economy in emerging market. Peter study and analyze the pentahelix approach to expand the result of the research. Next section is introduction. The first point in the introduction is background. In Indonesia, there is a rapid growth of the creative industry, today in both developed and emerging markets. In 9 years from 2000 to 2011, the growth rate in creative industry grew by more than 200%. The Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy record data that show the growth of the creative economy in Indonesia by 5.76% in 2013. So, the amount was greater than the rate of national economic growth. Next point is the second point, the problem. The number of the creative economy growth in Indonesia is greater than the national economic growth rate. Next point is factual. On the other hand, creative industry as an emerging sector have a high level of uncertainty and a low level of institutionalization in emerging market. This condition offers Institutional entrepreneur multiply opportunities to capitalize on uncertainty. Also, the development of creative industry differs according to the region. The transition between various types of people emerges. The important process that promotes institutional entrepreneurship. Institutional are also known as the one of the 10 pillars of national competitiveness, and an important indicator of this pillar is social capital. Next point, study kasus. The best, the creative economy growth was not fully supported by regulation of the government. So there are no specific studies on the policy or economic impact on creative industry in Indonesia. The British Council also said that cultural infrastructure and police are lacking in many countries in Asia. More specifically, the Bandung City government published the 2008-2013 Midterm Regional Development Plan as the first document that addressed the innovative city. On the other hand, the central government organized mapping the creative industry in 2007. And by 2008, they created the plan document for the development of Indonesia creative from the period 2009 to 2011. Sorry, 2015. After reading a few preceding research, it could be observed that there is a still gap available regarding the institutional study in emerging market as well as creative industry. Hence, the novelty of the research is explaining the creative economy entrepreneurship is an emerging market from the angle of institution. Next, the last part of the introduction is from Retelling. In addition, the research objective of this project is to explore the underdeveloped institutional environment that creative economy actors face and how they handle the underdevelopment institutional environment. The contribution of this study are promoting research on institutional entrepreneurship as well as institutional work in the emerging market context. This research can be analyzed as a reference for further studies on the development of the creative economy and the inspiring other parts of Indonesia and other energy markets to develop their creative industry. So, next, the third decision of scientific journal is a review to the literature. Scott explained institution consists of regulative, normative, and cultural cognitive elements, together with associated research activities to give meaning and stability to social life. Institutions operate in the institutional environment and an environment consisting of other institutions that influence the process of gaining legitimacy recognized by the neo-institutional theory. Cultural, economic, political, institutional can enable of disrupt business activities. There is also a sort of article into the institutional theory. Next, the marginal actor help shape and practice. However, the transformed institution power is frequently minimal. In contrast, there is a short case of the dominant actor motivation given to the process the ability to impact gains. As mentioned by Yavuz, institutional entrepreneur can be organized or individual operating in distinct locations, such as retail or central, in district field commission, or family, team or matter sector. The transition between different from the capital emerges as an important process that enable institutional entrepreneurship. Institutional entrepreneur automatically become entrepreneur because in business initiation is not a required institutional entrepreneurship element. Institutional entrepreneurship can be analyzed as a follow. First, the actor type taking on the position of institutional entrepreneurship is classified according to characteristics related to those actor and the actor position in the given field. 2. Condition of the field help improve on institutional entrepreneurship based on stage and stimuli. Next is third from the point. Institutional entrepreneurship is specifically by step and types. For the basic of the strategies of institutional entrepreneurship or intervention of the contraction is justification for institutional change, mobilization of research, and forge through relationship among stakeholders to stimulate collective action. There are three institutional strategies available in emerging markets. As mentioned, they are institutional void, covering, and breaking, or we call the institutional distance. Moreover, as mentioned above, institutional entrepreneurship studies to analysis situation in Indonesia have been very limited. In the last 9 years, Indonesia, on the other hand, is called one of the most exciting and fastest growing emerging economy in the world. This situation brings the bigger opportunity for the creative industry. But official infrastructure is still minimal. Hence, the potential to study institutional entrepreneurship in the creative economy in the Indonesia context is very large. Next composition is the method of research. The study applies the assumption of social contributions. This assumption is stated in the interactive paradigm. Social realities and ourselves are closely intertwined in daily interaction as it is formed by others. This is the idea of the social construction. It notes that the focus of the social construction is a knowledge creation and its material and research. This research can be classified as a exploratory research following the classification. The progressive method to pick the participant in this research was specifically used to confirm that the data search was relevant to this study. This method is specifically analyzed to gather quantitative data by picking a small number of participants. So, the third of the research from the result means the validity of the research based on interpretation. We show the findings accurately represent what is happening in the situation because the study use case studies as a method. Pre-validated tests are often used quality assurance. Internal validity, external validity, and construct validity. Three tactics can be used to increase validity of the construct when conducting a case study. The process continue to develop a cinematic output containing a list of key code and definition of each. When a second coding cycle was organized, researchers have used earlier identified codes to classify them into interpretation, concept, in the research, uh, and the composition using the analytic memo. The analytic memo is useful to understand the code's relationship. The last step, creating a working hypothesis, is focused on the analysis process. Researchers then identify the impact found, whether are they answer and research question. Next, result and discussion. The result from the example of scientific journal. After analyzing the data collected from 15 participants, the result of the study showed the underdeveloped institutional environment. Bottom-up approach to the Bandung creative industry development and the cultural cognitive pillar as the basis of Bandung creative economy development and important community. Role in making it an institutional entrepreneur has also been found in the development of Bandung creative economy. In addition, the process of developing the creative industry initiated and carried out by PCCV can be seen as institutional work. Therefore, PCCV is an institutional entrepreneur in the development of the creative economy in Bandung. PCCV spanned the institutional void, the lack of the comprehensive program for the development of the creative economy. PCCV promote the creative economy concept and encourage everyone involved to develop the creative economy. This action is conducted by managing and holding many events to promote the concept PCCV. PCCV's efforts have been acknowledged not only by the local and central government, but also by the international organizations such as the British Council and the Vietnam Creative Industry Activists. In addition, an assessment of the result of this study and a presentation of its relevance, literature review, and study question are presented in the next session. In this session, the lack of the accurate police with the absence of a comprehensive program for creative economy development. This example identifies several variable roles in the early stage of the development of ancient Indonesia creative economy. This condition confirms of the mixed institutional arrangement and institutional uncertainty typical of emerging markets. It is found that Indonesia social capital score supported the institutional work practice found in this study, which ranked 10 in the World Economic Forum in 2018. Here, GCV can be classified as an international entrepreneur with limited research and always powerful effort. This research enriches the latest research on institutional topics in emerging market network. Although they have been carried out in the different industries, nevertheless, this study analyzes the actor activity developing institution using strategies to spend institutional voice. The study also examined what found the GCP in this inhibitor in the development of the creative industry. As it effectively explained the important role of GCP. In addition, the nature of the process of creative economy development it by the GCP is cultural collective as a initiative is encouraged and voluntary forced by the member and Bandung society. So the less composition in the scientific journal is composition because the less composition is not already have. Conclusion. The process of developing the creative industry in Bandung is an institutional work conducted by community. CCP, or we call creative city form, directly resolve centering characteristic of Bandung developed institutional environment, the unavailability of creative economic situation, the comprehensive creative economy development program, which has been regarded as an institutional void related to Bandung creative economy development. So, enable or in addition, PCCV society to get involved and participate in the activities, even will have helped solve the city problems, especially to achieve better results. This undoubtedly embrace and recognize the importance of the concept of the creative economy. A society was initially able to benefit from the event. CCP also participated in the national and international events. This research is the one of the first research of institutional entrepreneurship in emerging markets focused on the creative economy. This research also facilitates the study of institutional work and institutional entrepreneurship in emerging market contexts. The possibility of future research development is extending this study by analyzing the pentahelix approach, since this study has only analyzed the fourth helix one. There should be a more interesting finding after analyzing the fifth entity of the helix approach idea. That's all of the composition scientific journal, the process of creative economic development as an institutional work by me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.